Yeah, thank you, Charles, and thank you for having me. I'm the chairman of the board of Aecon Energy, and so basically the discussion here is very close to our heart. I think we are sort of almost an example of energy cooperation in the Arctic. What happens here in Iceland, for instance, is that we don't have an oil industry. We've never had any oil industry. So how do we build one from scratch? There is a Russian saying that says that the smart man will learn from the mistakes of others, the dumb one from his own mistakes. So in a mature industry, it only makes sense for us to go out and find good examples of how to go forward. If we look at how other industries have developed here in Iceland, and I want to mention the fishing industry, our productivity in the fishing industry is fantastic. We have some of the highest labor productivity and the highest capital productivity in any fishery sector. But how did we pick that up? Basically, we were fortunate enough to have a fantastic location here. And with that attracted international attention. So they were basically Scottish fishermen that came up here with their steam vessels and showed us the tricks. We picked up those tricks and we were able to build on them. And today we have a leading industry. So what Aecon is trying to do is that we have built an office in Oslo. We are now pre-qualified. We can apply for licenses in Norwegian territories. What we got there is that we got the necessary intellectual and human capital needed, and which is dearly lacking here in Iceland. So we got the technical expertise, the geological expertise, the quality, the health and safety, the environment, and all of these necessary ingredients to build a proper oil company. But what I wanted to show you is that how would an oil industry impact a small place like Iceland? Iceland is a very undiversified economy, and we desperately need more diversification. So what I did, I took out some numbers from our good cousins in Norway and then applied them to the Icelandic reality. So as we can see, total investments in our economy now are almost at an all-time low. After the economic collapse and the capital restrictions that were put in place, total investments in the Icelandic economy are a mere $2 billion. Just to come close to the average of the last few decades, there would need to be closer to $4 billion. So if we look at the upcoming exploration in the Jan Mayen area, which we here in Iceland call the Dreki area, the Dragon area, they could easily amount to, just in the research phase, to a few $100 million annually. But in the exploration phase, when we finally go about drilling, that could easily increase. So if we would be able to draw on the potential resources in the Jan Mayen area, which I believe could amount up to 10 billion barrels of oil equivalent, that would not crowd out all other industries in Iceland. It would simply be a new addition to the economy. It would be around a quarter of the total industry here and would benefit the economy greatly. But most importantly, who will be the big winner if we actually find oil here in Iceland? We can also draw lessons from our good cousins in the Faroe Islands, because they have been looking for oil for over a decade, yet to have found some, but still that industry, oil service industry, now amounts to close to 10% of their GDP, which is a very healthy addition to their economy. But the big winner in Iceland, if something were to be found, would of course be the general public, because the tax regime which has been put in place is such that over 50%, over half, and up to 60% of the total profits generated would go to the public. So I just wanted to give this brief introduction on how we are trying to build a new industry here in Iceland, how we think there is room for that industry here, and how we try to use the knowledge and experience of our good neighbors in the area.